Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and welcome to another drawing lesson. I am going to show you how to draw the top part of an owl from about his shoulders up. And it's a really cool owl, and I had a lot of fun drawing it. And I hope that you will be able to draw it after you watch this video. Come with me and let's see how fast, fun, and easy drawing an owl can be. So what we're going to do is this little owl, he's got eyes that are staring straight ahead at us, and they have a pretty strong circle all the way around. So eye number one, and his eyes are fairly closest together. Eye number two. All right, so this one's a little bit bigger. That's all part of just doing a pen sketch, doing straight to pen. I can make this one feel a little bit bigger by bringing it down. And bring this one in just a little bit. There. Oh, now he's got bags under his eyes. He got woke up in the middle of the morning. Then he has a pupil, and he's looking straight out at us. So his pupil is straight in the middle. And it's catching a little tiny bit of light. So I'm just going to color my black dot in just a little bit. So I end up with these two eyes that are staring straight out at us. Then he's got kind of a long, squishy, almost a trapezoid, pointy type of beak. And to give it shape, I am going to do straight lines close together on one side. And then just a few lines down low on the other side. You can choose which side you're doing that. But what it's doing is that it's making it look like there's some light. Now, his little beak area here actually has almost like a mustache or a beard around it. So, kind of like that. Feathers that are like, they're kind of fluffy feathers. Then around his face here, right around, kind of like his cheeks, he has an outline on either side. But that's not his whole head. His head is actually out here. So this is going to be the feathers that are sort of directed towards his eyes. So we're going to give him kind of like eyebrows, and then around his face, sort of coming into his little beard area there. I don't know if that's really his beard. Sorry. I don't know. That's just what it makes me think of. So I'm going to come out and around like that. And then I want to come around. He's a funny looking guy. He actually looks like he's got, I'm gonna make his feathers go up like this. He actually looks like he has a hood on. because when you go around his head, you do these sort of little dash lines, and it's like the feathers are stacked up on each other to create this space for the rest of his head. So you kind of go around just with long dashy lines, and then sort of overlap those dash lines, giving almost a little brick pattern. They don't have to be perfect. But they can be kind of fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and make these long lines below his little beard and mustache. His little cheek lines. By putting the lines going different directions, you start getting shape. Now, this is not an actual representation. This is becoming very much more of a fantasy owl. And that makes me happy because I don't want to be doing the owl straight from anyone's photo. That's why I looked at the owl, I sketched him, got the idea how I felt about this owl, but then I'm not looking at the picture, the photograph, I'm looking at the sketch, but then even the sketch, if you put this side by side with the sketch, you wouldn't recognize it. Because this looks so silly and different. And what's going to be a lot of fun here is we start stacking up some of these feathers on his side to give you the idea that he has more of a shape. There's more owl than meets the eye. And now I want to go ahead and do these lines straight out to that edge where those ruffly lines were, that outer ring. There we go. See? And some of these feathers are going over and some are going under. I'm kind of making those little cheeky bits join in. And owls are fun. They're cool creatures. They do a service. Owls are a nighttime predator, and they eat so many mice and small rodents. They help to keep populations down. They're a very important part of our ecosystem, and we don't think about them that much, really, unless you live in the country where you have owls all the time and you think about them because you hear them every night or frequently. I've seen a few owls in real life. We have a wildlife refuge nearby. And that's a lot of fun to go out to because you get to see things that you don't see at home as often. Actually, I've never seen an owl here in town where I live. I've only seen the owls out at the wildlife refuge. And one year, well, a couple years in a row, when my husband was really, really into photography and taking lots of pictures of wildlife, we would go out to the wildlife refuge and we would sit under the tree where the baby owls were, because for several years in a row there was a pair of owls that would come back and they would have their babies in the same tree or near the same trees for several years in a row. Oh, that's looking cool. So now what I want to do, I want to give him sort of a darker stripe going up in here, and a darker stripe going up this way. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And then the feathers coming across here are darker. They look sort of like backwards swooped, funny looking eyebrows. I really enjoy drawing in this Strathmore mixed media book. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I'm enjoying it because the pages are so nice and thick. I could do watercolor or wet media and not have it bleed through. It's even not bleeding through when I do the alcohol markers. That is totally amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of stippling on this white area here because it's not really white. I don't want it to be white. I want it to look like it belongs. And a little bit of stippling on this also. Look at that. Oh, he's looking so funny. Now I am going to grab my alcohol markers and put in his eyes. But first, kind of a continuation up, we have his horns. What made me think that this was so funny is that his horn feathers here look like they're an add-on. And they looked like an add-on on the actual owl also. On the actual photograph, they looked like an add-on. Okay, so now I'm going a little bit darker. I want to darken up some of these feathers underneath of his little cheeks, under his chin, and then over to this side, under the cheek. Sorry, getting my hand in the way. Over to this side, under the cheek, and then down his side just a little bit. And it's like the darkness of the edge of the top of his feathers And then he would be there we go. I need to get this edge over here a little bit higher up. There we go. But it's the top of those feathers, and then he would have some lighter feathers that may not have as many or as much dark. Now, what made me laugh about this is that it looks like it's this little owl inside of a horned owl hood. Doesn't it look like that? It looks like a little owl playing dress up as a horned owl. So I think that that makes this really special for the October season. There we go. So much fun. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to get his eyeballs colored in, and then we will be done. Look at that. Oh, he's fun. All right. So his eyes are going to be a bright orange and yellow with a slightly darker. So I'm just grabbing some pens, and I'm hoping that my, that says pastel yellow, so I don't know. Oh no, that's going to be bright enough. So first we're going to go in with what it called pastel yellow. That's crazy. If that's a pastel, I don't know what pastel means. Now here's dark yellow, and that I'm going to put right in near the pupil and then out towards the outer edge. Like that. Ooh, we're getting some shape. That's looking good. And then, no, I don't want sand. And then maybe terracotta? Let's see. Yeah, terracotta's good. Then I'm going to put some terracotta lines going out. Now I'm learning how to use these pens, so I am not an expert on them. I am just barely a beginner. So I'm learning, I'm exploring, I'm experimenting, and you guys get kidnapped along on my journey. I do that a lot to you. I will kidnap you. I will take you on little adventures. And I have fun, and I hope that you do too. If you're enjoying this, I hope that you will click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, share on your social media, make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know how I did. What do you think? I think what I want to do is take a little bit of this, and I'm going to give him a little bit of color. Not a lot. This is going to be more just hints of color here and there. Oh, that's fun. And don't forget to go out and do something creative. I know, I started coloring and I wasn't intending to. Okay, there we go. All right, so thank you so much for coming along with me on this trip. I had so much fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. As always, go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here really soon. Bye-bye.